So welcome back to my channel. My name is Aronica Cole and you are watching my Vlogmas content. So what are we talking about today? Today we're talking about the extra fancy sewing things that I really actually feel like are a little underrated, or people have added some zhuzh onto that make them even better than they were before. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so kicking things off, as a projector sewist, I think that the number one question I'm often asked when people watch me cut with my projector is, why don't you use fabric weights? It's not that I don't use them, I just don't feel like I need them all the time. But my girl Raven created some of the cutest fabric weights that I have ever seen. Let's take a closer look at them. So I ordered the ones that were like this rose gold color. Just get into that, let's get into it. And so I got them in a couple of different sizes. I also got them with these hangers, super cute, right? I love these. They are gorgeous. Now I typically just use a tile. Literally, I got them from Home Depot. They were just like, if you were to think about bathroom tiles, you just buy a sheet and you have bathroom tiles, boom. So really nothing fancy at all. And I just love the little bits of extra that these add. So I'm going to drop the link in my bio, or rather I'm going to drop the link in the caption below for you to go ahead and snag yours as well, okay? Now I've said this time and time again, but ironing is just not my favorite thing, right? Now, let me just back that up. I love the way that the garments and things like that when they have been ironed, but just the act of ironing, especially in the middle of my project, just not my favorite thing in the world. I will stand hold to that. I will die on that hill. But the Mini G iron from Oliso, hands down my favorite iron. Why? Because one, look at it. It is so pretty. So pretty. But also one of my favorite features is that when you let go of the handle, it pops up. Now for some, they don't necessarily love that. But for me and my forgetful self, I will put it down and end up with something being burnt because I've done it before. We're all works in progress, okay? People, do not judge my life. But I am loving this iron. So I actually really enjoy all of my Oliso irons, and not just the irons themselves, but the customer service. Now, I'm someone who will spend money for good customer service. Why? Because you know what? I don't really want to feel like I'm being treated like poop if I'm spending my money. Okay, simple as that. Now, I had and I still have it, but I have a mini Oliso iron that my son accidentally had a little Hulk moment with. Do you know that they sent me that iron? They replaced it immediately. And they were so kind about it. So hands down, I will always use my Oliso irons. And also, they've got a new one that is even better than the ones that I currently have. Now, my office is, it's a little bit of organized chaos, okay? I'm a work in progress, but also I'm a creative. And y'all know what I mean when I say that, right? One of my, dare I say, little hacks is having this little organizer sitting in between my two machines. This is such a game changer for me. Why? It's like, Aronica, why is this even a big deal? The amount of times that I have lost each of these items that's in here. I've got a screwdriver, I've got mini screwdrivers, I've got, of course, seam ripper, I've got multiple like little fabric snips. Why are those things in there? Because I always lose them. The last thing that I typically put in there is going to actually be the next thing that I talk about. And, but let's finish this up with first, because this here tool makes keeping track of your tiny items that much easier. And again, if you're someone who keeps multiple machines out and you're always reaching either with both your left and your right hands, you never put things back until the project is over or until you realize that you don't know where it is. This here is very helpful. And I got mine from itssoemma.com. I will definitely make sure I drop the link. Now, the other thing that I typically keep in there is a pen. And I was like, Aronica, you're writing on your stuff. I am. This is one of the erasable gel pens, which of course erase with heat. But because, again, this is about the extra, I don't just have one. Yes, I have the entire pack. And here's the thing, I get it. It's like, Aronica, why do you need all those colors? Because I sew with a bunch of different colors, and I honestly don't know what is going to show up when I need it to. So I think that having the entire pack available to you, yes, whichever color you're working with, of course, goes in your handy dandy little stand here. But listen, it's okay to have all the colors and be that extra with it, because you never know what you're going to need. This next thing is so cute, but it's also so useful. So this is a tiny cutting mat. I mean, look at how cute it is. It's so small and so cute. It's like literally itty bitty. And then this is a very, very sharp, don't be fooled by how cute and small it is, but you use this to open up your buttonholes. Aronica, why is it that you use this? I want you guys to take a look at these here markings that are happening here. I don't want that in my, like on my cutting mat that I actually use to cut things. Like I have my mat that covers my entire cutting area, and I don't want those indentations in there. So I think it's really important that you have something like this, especially if you are making things that have buttonholes in them. So why use this? Why does this make a difference? If you've ever done a buttonhole and you've accidentally seam ripped or cut a little too far into that button hole, and you're left like, oh my God, how do I fix this? Should have been using one of these, because this helps prevent that. Literally all you do is you've got your fabric on here, you put your little buttonhole maker there, and then you just kind of do like that back and forth, because it's so sharp. It'll go ahead and make that buttonhole nice and easy for you. Hands down, one of my favorite purchases. I love that for me, and honestly, now I love it for you. Okay, so this is both a little accessory, but it's useful. So I've got these scissors. Yes, they are actual scissors. Boom. And they are super sharp, so they do cut. But it's also a very cute accessory for you to wear. I wore these all while I was doing my Nutcracker costume work and while I was working with the kids. And of course they were like, oh my gosh, that's so cute. Does it actually work? It does, friends. And yeah, it's extra, because do you actually need it? Probably not. But does it add a little extra to your sewing and possibly feeling like an official sewist? Absolutely. And that's what I'm here for. Absolutely there for it. Hands down, one of my favorite things, because I also like to just wear it as just a little bit of decor. So that's definitely a very much so slept on notion. Okay, so now this next one was a little bit controversial for me. Why is it controversial, Veronica? Because when my girl LaShawn, make sure that you're following her, subscribe to her channel, etc., etc. You already know it's going to be in the caption. But when she told me about this this notch little thing here, I was like, I ordered it because I was like, let's see what she's on to. I used it once and I was like, full disclosure, I lost it. Then I found it, but then I began to actually use it more consistently, and I do like it. Now, can you just use your scissors? You can, no problem. But this is just kind of like a little hole puncher, and I will say that it makes marking your notches a little bit easier. So LaShawn, girl, you were onto something, okay, friends? The other one is, this one is from Violet Crafts, and this is actually a, it's a seam presser. Yes, I know. It does not look like it presses seams. But if you're an apparel sewist, we probably don't use this, but I got this at a quilting show and I love it because I don't want to stand up and press in the middle of my projects. So I will use this tool so that I can go ahead and press my seams out or press them down until it's time for me to get up and go ahead and actually use my iron. So I love this tool for that exactly. Now, again, if you are not in the quilting community, you may or may not have an attachment to these here wool pressing pads. Here's the thing about a wool pressing pad though. Because of the way that it conducts the heat, it makes it so that your garment or whatever it is that you're pressing is getting heat on the back side and the front side. So it's giving you like a heat sandwich, making your pressing that much more effective and efficient. This one is from Oliso. And I love this. I love it. It has made pressing that much easier. I do like the smaller little square for my small projects. I do have a big pressing pad for my larger projects, but this here just keeping this out for my tiny projects. Oh, so useful. I love that for us. And my final tool that I actually do not even own, but I see so many people using it that I think I'm going to go ahead and gift it to myself this season, is an awl. Yes, an awl. Whenever I watch my bag girlies sew, they've got the awls that they're using, and I'm like, I typically use my fingernails as though they're awls. They are not, though, and your girl does not want to end up with a needle through her finger. But I love the way that those awls work, right? It kind of helps you to push through your garment, or your fabric through your machine, especially if you're dealing with something that's thicker, or maybe it's a little harder for it to go through, or it might just need a little bit of help. I am loving the awls, loving them hands down. Okay, so yeah, that is it for me as far as my favorite kind of like extra little sewing notions or things that people have made extra. So do me a favor and drop your favorite sewing notion below, especially the ones that are a little bit of extra and that people can utilize for themselves. All right, friends, if you have not already, go ahead and make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, turn on the notifications, and go ahead and binge watch some of my content if you have not already done so. I will see you all tomorrow where we will be sewing live, so make sure that you tune in. Ta-ta!